remember when I first made this YouTube, my first video was, I think, a hair video. It was around the time when the natural hair movement was in, crochet was in. So I was like, okay, let me get into sharing how I do my hair. And it was a good time because I didn't really think anything of it. I got a good amount of views. People liked my technique of crocheting. I had the shaved side. And after that, I spoke about sickle cell. And the video is still up, actually. If you scroll all the way down to the end of my videos, or you just press oldest video, you'll be able to see that video. And that video was so vulnerable for me because it's like one of the first times where I'm like high on narcotics and talking about sickle cell, explaining what it is, explaining my experiences with it while being high. I think I just came from the hospital, and that video got a good amount of views, but I kind of stopped posting and stuff. Very inconsistent with the channel, Then years later, I got into realizing that I could write music. I can write songs. So I started my music journey. And with the music journey came a few songs, a few singles, a few music videos. During that time, I was still finding myself as an artist as well as a woman. And it was still a bit it was just, I felt like it was like a lucid dream. I felt like I didn't even know what was going on. I just know that I love music, I love dance, I love art. Let me share what's going on. And while I was finding myself as an artist, I was also finding myself as a person. Genuinely finding out how I want to share my music, how I want to share my art. Also, what do I believe in, right? Hey, how's it going? What do I actually believe in? What's my belief system? Who is God to me? What is spirituality? Just different things that I didn't really know about growing up because I was told to just do a certain thing in a certain way. So I had a lot of mental experiences, looking at my mind and being what do I believe in? What is life? What is this world? What system are we in? That type of thing, Getting into rabbit holes, looking into conspiracy theories, figuring out again who is who in this world, or how does this world ran, how this world is ran, all while writing music, whether it was about heartbreak. I didn't let anybody break my heart. I broke my own heart by not listening to myself, but that's a whole nother story. Whether it was about me trying to talk about racism in a coded, artistic way, Thank you, appreciate that. And I think after a while, the Matrix. After a while, I was like, okay, I still want to do my music. I still want to share my messages. I still want to share my arts. But something happened. And I think what happened was more of a mind game, a mental game. And I think it's because I did the exact opposite of what one of my songs that I released said. And that song, you know, it got on the radio. I won a couple of, you know, opportunities with that song. Won some money with that song. Performed it a lot. A lot of people within my hometown enjoyed it. I look at my statistics and on like music, Apple Music, and a lot of different countries and cities like that song, you know. Of course it didn't go viral or whatever, but I love that there are several people throughout the world that listen to that song. I love the little views that I have on the music video. I love the person that I worked with to promote that music video and make that music video happen. I love that we were able to collaborate. But the song that I'm talking about is called Know Yourself. So the irony of the journey that I was on was about knowing thyself, and it was about knowing more than one aspect to yourself, and that's like eternal. You know, you're not just gonna know yourself in one day. So I look at that song and I'm like, I listen to the lyrics, I take in the lyrics, and I'm like, wow, I did the exact opposite of that song. I made people's problems my problem. I allowed myself to get into the mix of other people's problems. I allowed myself to listen to everything rather than listening to myself and the Most High. I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing? I allowed myself to get distracted. I allowed myself to do things that I felt as though put me off course. Like took me off course of what I was tunnel vision and supposed to be focusing on. And realistically, I don't feel like, oh, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. I just feel like the song really showed me the blueprint, the easy form of like knowing yourself. Like again, there's layers and layers and layers to yourself. There's dimensions to yourself. There's so many aspects to yourself. Oh, thank you for checking it out. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the subscription. And the irony of me making this live, because once I got distracted with other people's situations, I became super empathetic. So I became like enthralled in, oh my gosh, this person's going through this. I need to be there for them. Oh my gosh, this person's going through that. I need to drain myself. I need to, it's almost like I needed to show that I care, which I did, but then I stopped caring about myself because I would drain myself for other people. And saying this because it led me into a whole, oh, I don't have no snacks for y'all. It led me into a whole debacle with not creating the way I wanted to. I don't got no snack. Instead of focusing on my art, I ended up injuring myself, and I wanted to see the optimism in that, because at the time I injured myself, I was getting back into dance. I was getting back into wanting to teach dance, having my own dance classes, and then I hurt myself. So I had to put the dance and the movement on the back burner. And that led into me saying, okay, I still want to move. I still want to get out there. I still want to do my thing. So what can I do? So I changed this page from my artist name to Nize What. Now, if you're from Toronto, I'm from the GTA, Ontario, Canada. Nize it, like, yo, nice that. That's a saying we say, which is essentially, shut up. Like, stop your noise, right? So instead of calling it nice that or nice it, I was like, nice what? And I appreciate that. And I think I named it Nize What because I was in a space of wanting to talk about what this world was going through, or what these conspiracy theories were all about, or the rabbit hole, or the matrix, or racism and discrimination and everything that everyone's talking about now, more than ever. And instead of it turning into something that wasn't as productive or conducive to how we can grow and how we can elevate, I actually started interviewing people throughout my city, like throughout the GTA where I live. I interviewed a couple of artists, got their perspective on whether it was hip-hop history, shout out to Michael, whether it was someone who moved here from the States, Cass, who she had great perspective and insight about just being yourself and stop giving a F about a lot of things. Whether it was talking to my homegirl about Afrofuturism and what we need to sustain ourselves as a people. Whether it was, again, talking to another artist who had a lot of accolades at the time, and you know, I knew her outside of the platform, and it was just great to see her succeeding and accomplishing the things that she wants to. Thank you, Ian. Whether it was, you know, talking to a real estate agent about the infrastructure of our cities and if it's for us or not. So I have a few interviews on here, you know, and I'm very, it might not be hundreds and hundreds of interviews. It might not have thousands and thousands of views. However, it's the fact that I did something. So if you're out there doing something, good. So I wanted to say this because Nize What will always be here. I will always bring collaborative content. I will always do interviews on here, maybe promote products, you know, do reviews, stuff like that. I have actually an interview coming up that I'll share more about in another video. However, if anyone on here that is subscribed to this channel initially subscribed because of my music, I want to say thank you. And I want to let you know that I have a new YouTube channel that is dedicated to my music journey, to my artistry, and that channel is called Durell the Galaxy. That's my artist name. I changed my name like 4 or 5 times, maybe even more. And yeah, so that page is dedicated to my music. I'm starting a new I'm starting it over in a sense. My music will always be available like on streaming platforms that I have already released. However, I have new music that I'm working on, and that music will be premiered or released under the name Dural the Galaxy. I will put the link of my new YouTube channel in the description. That way anyone who watches this in the near future can click that link and subscribe to my new channel, because I will be sharing more and more and more on my music journey. So I wanted to say that again. Nize What will always be here. It'll turn into a more collaborative platform. It won't just be me speaking. It'll be a lot of people talking the things them, because Nize What. However, when it comes to my artistry as an individual, I'm back. I'm coming back stronger, and I am putting my all, like my experiences, my feelings, my pain, my tears, my joy, my peace into my music. And if you are also interested in my other platform called Mooncell Productions, then you can also check that out on YouTube. I can leave that link in the description as well. I have sickle cell anemia type SC, so that page is dedicated to wellness, as well as having the lifestyle of focusing on wellness as well as my art. I also have a Patreon where that is going to be growing. I'll be sharing more content on there. So if you want to support a sickle cell warrior, please subscribe to the Patreon. I'll leave that link in the description as well. And I will see you here on Nize What. I'll see you on Dural the Galaxy, and I'll see you on Mooncell Production as well. Be on the lookout for some new episodes here on Nize What. And thank you for watching. Thank you for the likes, and I'll see you soon. Peace.